this broadcast to bring you something much more interesting. I want you to imagine yourself standing before a door. It is an odd yet inviting door. You unlock this door with the key of your imagination. When you open this door, you find yourself in a strange new world. A world made of horror, adventure, and fantasy. A world that pushes the boundaries of what you know and what you don't. To all those that pass through the door, I bid thee welcome, for you are now in the realm of the Geek Zone.
Are we sure this is going to send me back home?
There is a 99.258% chance of success.
Real question. Are we sure a human can drink this? Ugh, it smells like death in a bottle.
Due to my programming, I could not allow you to drink it if it would cause you
If that was true, what happened last time?
That was a minor error, and I did not know that it would hurt you.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay. Here goes nothing. Live and Let Die, made in 1973, is the 8th spy film in the James Bond series, and the first to star Roger Moore as the fictional M16 agent James Bond. The film was produced by Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman. Again. Released on June 27, 1973 in the United States, it was made on a budget of $7 million, but made a return of $126.4 million. Although the producers had wanted Sean Connery to return after his role in the previous Bond film, Diamonds Are Forever, he declined, sparking a search for a new actor to play James Bond. Roger Moore was signed for the lead role. However, he wasn't their first choice, as they originally wanted Clint Eastwood for the role, but Eastwood turned them down, stating it should be done by a British actor. And we are all glad he did. Live and Let Die was released during the height of the blaxploitation era. In case you are like me and have no idea what that is, it is the era where many black stereotypes were used to make films and TV shows, such as great big afros, outrageously colored clothes, and black folks speaking Ebonics as if it's the only language they know. Ebonics being, of course, little more than black slang. For example,
Can I get you something?
It's your mofo butter laying into the bone, jacking me up. Tight me.
I'm sorry, I don't understand.
Cuddy say can't hang.
Oh, stewardess, I speak jive.
Oh, good.
He said that he's in great pain and he wants to know if you can help him.
All right, would you tell him to just relax and I'll be back as soon as I can with some medicine.
Just hang loose, blood. She's gonna catch up on the rebound on the med side.
What it is, Big Mama? My mama didn't raise no dummies. I duck a rap.
Cut me some slack, Jack.
Say cutting and
Chump don't want to help. Chump don't get the help.
Say can't hang. Say 7-Up.
Jive ass dude don't got no brains anyhow.
Live and Let Die departs from the former plots of the James Bond films about megalomaniac supervillains, and instead focuses on drug trafficking, which is another cliche depicted in blaxploitation films. It is set in African-American culture centers such as Harlem and New Orleans, as well as the Caribbean islands. It was also the first James Bond film featuring an African-American Bond girl to be romantically involved with 007, Rosie Carver, who was played by Gloria Hendry. Despite mixed reviews, the film was a box office success and was nominated for an Academy Award. Now let's watch this bad boy. Of all the James Bond films, Live and Let Die has to have my favorite theme song. Here, take a quick listen.
Say live and let die. Live and let die. Live and let die.
3 British M16 agents, including one on loan to the American government, are killed under mysterious circumstances within 24 hours. The first being a man at the UN, the killing style being one of great interest to me. Watch.
At this point, no formula can or will ever cover each case. For instance,
Mint ahogy ezt a főtitkár úr beszéde elején pontosan kifejtette. De!
when 3 or more applicants have been recognized, which is in direct contradiction to
How a sound can kill someone, I will never know. but it is a creative way to go about doing it. The second is killed at a jazz funeral who hide the body in a casket they are carrying, and the third being sacrificed via voodoo. Now here's something I don't get. How did the third man die? He wasn't bitten due to the snake mouth being closed when it touched him, and if it was pure voodoo magic that killed him, shouldn't they have put in an effect like lightning or something? I say that death is worthy of our first
Epic Fail
award. All three are killed while monitoring the operation of Dr. Kananga, the dictator of a small Caribbean island called San Monique. We first see our hero, James Bond, played by Roger Moore, aka 007, as he is asleep in bed. He is awakened by M, who proceeds to give Bond instructions on his next mission, all while Bond is trying to keep his adventures from last night hidden. Also, Miss Moneypenny gives Bond his watch that was repaired by Q, after which Bond reveals that it can become a hypermagnet that can even deflect a bullet, though we never see if this is possible. Bond is sent to New York, where the first agent was killed and where Kananga is currently visiting the UN, to investigate. During his flight, we see tarot cards being read. As soon as Bond arrives in New York, his driver is killed again in a neat way, while taking him to meet Felix Leiter of the CIA, and Bond is nearly killed in the ensuing car crash. While the CIA is watching Kananga, he gives them a slip using a tape recording, during which Bond takes a tour of the city and visits a voodoo shop, where he spots the man that killed his driver as well as the car in which he used to do it. While in pursuit, it is revealed that the whole town is filled with Kananga spies. He is led to a bar/restaurant where he's brought to a bunch of thugs via a hidden door. While waiting for Mr. Big, played by Yaphet Kotto, who is a ruthless, cunning gangster who runs a chain of filet-o-so restaurants throughout the United States, he meets a woman named Solitaire, a beautiful virgin tarot card expert who has the uncanny ability to see both the future and remote events in the present. Mr. Big then demands that his henchmen kill Bond, who then manages to escape unharmed. Bond follows Kananga back to San Monique. While at his hotel, he finds that 2 bugs are placed in his room as well as a snake, which he promptly kills via a makeshift flamethrower. He subsequently meets Rosie Carver, a CIA agent who of course Bond tries to seduce to no avail, as far as we know. Bond and Rosie get on a boat to an island, while which we see Solitaire is predicting Bond's coming, and it is revealed by Kananga that Rosie is a double agent. Rosie is subsequently murdered on the island by Kananga's Scarecrow men after Bond suspects her working with Kananga. Later, Bond meets the boatman, Coral Jr., who takes him to Solitaire's home, and using a stacked tarot card deck of cards only showing the lovers, Bond tricks her into thinking that seduction is in her future, and then he seduces her. Solitaire loses her ability to foretell the future when she loses her virginity to Bond.
You're joking.
And is forced into cooperating with Bond to bring down Kananga. It transpires that Kananga is producing 2 tons of heroin and is protecting the poppy fields by exploiting locals' fears of voodoo and the occult. Bond and Solitaire is then chased by henchmen through the town and countryside. Bond and Solitaire escape on the boat that Bond came in on. They leave and go back to New Orleans, where the two are then captured. While at the airport, Solitaire helps Bond escape. Bond is then captured again and brought to Mr. Big. During Bond's interrogation, Mr. Big reveals he is wearing a plastic mask and is in fact Kananga.
Quite revealing.
Kananga reveals he is going to give away 2 tons of heroin for free, which will bankrupt his opposition, i.e., the mob. Kananga asks a disgusted Bond if he slept with Solitaire, using Bond to test Solitaire's abilities. Once Kananga discovers Solitaire has lost her powers, he gives Bond to his one-armed henchman and turns Solitaire over to Baron Smeedy to be sacrificed. Kananga's one-armed henchman, T.H. Johnson, takes Bond to a crocodile farm community in the Louisiana backwoods. Bond escapes being eaten by the crocodiles by running along the animals' backs to safety. Yeah, it's as far-fetched as Obama's new American Jobs Act being completely paid for, but it's awesome to see nevertheless. He sets the farm on fire and steals a speedboat, engaging in a chase with Kananga's men, local Sheriff J.W. Pepper, played by Clifton James, who of course gives the standard stereotype of a southern small-town cop performance, and the Louisiana State Police. I swear, if the sheriff was any more stereotypical, he would be a cartoon. If he isn't one already.
That looked like a boat. Stuck in the sheriff's car there, Eddie?
Boy, where you been all your life? That there's one of them new car boats.
By the powers invested in me by this parish, I hereby do commandeer this vehicle and all those persons within. And that means you, smart.
After a long chase scene. Man, I can eat a sandwich in the time it takes this scene to end. In fact, I think I will. Okay, after that, back in San Monique, just as Solitaire is about to be killed, Bond throws Smeedy into a coffin of snakes and rescues Solitaire. Bond and Solitaire escape below ground into Kananga's lair. Kananga captures them both and proceeds to lower them into a shark tank, because as we all know, just shooting them, though simpler, just doesn't scream bad guy enough. Bond escapes and forces a shotgun pellet into Kananga's mouth, causing him to literally blow up like Oprah on a bad year, float to the top of the cave, and explode, killing him.
You're joking.
After the job is done, Felix leaves Bond and Solitaire on a train out of the country. T.H. Johnson follows Bond and Solitaire onto the train and tries to kill them both, but loses his prosthetic arm in a fight with Bond and is flung out the window. As the film ends, Bond comforts Solitaire and a laughing Smeedy is revealed to still be alive. Now let's review. The acting in this movie is very good. I found Rosie and Solitaire to have at best a B grade, but Bond and the others had a very refined and believable performance. So acting will get a 4.7 out of 5. The flow of the movie is good. Everything flows swiftly and evenly, except of course the boat chase scene, where it seemed to drag. Several parts of the boat chase was well done, but a few more we could have done without. It just felt too long. Everything else in the movie was at least an A+, but the one boat chase was a B+. But since the rest of the movie outweighed the bad, I give flow of movie a 4.8 out of 5. Interest factor is a little low. The reason being I found this movie to be a little too generic. Out of all the James Bond films I have seen, this one is my least favorite, because it seems to lack that charm of a real James Bond film. Interest factor gets a 3.6 out of 5. As stated earlier, the music score in this movie is one of my favorites out of all the other films. Why? I don't know. They did an awesome job at choosing the right music for the right mood they were trying to create, and thus music score gets a 4.8 out of 5. Now here's the main reason for the interest factor being low. The plot is dull. The characters are too cardboard cutout and the bad guys are too plain. There are near no gadgets to speak of. The bad guy is just a typical drug dealer who doesn't seem worthy to have James Bond come after him. I mean, Bond should be fighting mega-villains, either wanting to take over the world or destroy it in some way, form, or fashion. Not a villain that just wants to get everybody high and get rich off of it. The plot is just not fitting of a James Bond film. So the plot gets a 1 out of 5. The replay factor for this movie is not bad, but it isn't awesome sauce either. After you watch it, you'll put it back on the shelf and not watch it again for almost a year before you pick it back up. Replay factor gets a 2.8 out of 5. The special effects in this movie are not bad, but they just seem too bland. Most of the time, the effects were small, like the magnet watch, the assassinating car, or running across the alligators. The only big one you see are the building on fire and the boat chase. Again, not bad, but not great, so an average grade of 3.7 out of 5 seems about right. Now let's tally up the score. Acting, 4.7 out of 5, A-. Flow of movie, 4.8 out of 5, A+. Interest factor, 3.6 out of 5, C-. Music score, 4.8 out of 5, A+. Plot, 1 out of 5, F-. Replay factor, 2.8 out of 5, F+. Special effects, 3.7 out of 5, C-. Total, 25.4 out of 35, giving Live and Let Die a 73%. Congrats, Live and Let Die, you get a grade of C-. Now, would I recommend this? That is hard to say. Like Goldfinger, it all depends if you like spy films or not. If you do, I would say, sure. I mean, it isn't the best, but it will keep your attention. If you don't like spy films, then pass. If you don't like spy films, you will get very bored very quickly. Well, that does it for now. I have to go beat the tar out of a voodoo witch doctor for trying to turn me into a frog. Later.
Back home.
Hey, Bella, can you help me out with this homework? I'm having trouble with... Mom! Justin's taken!
We now return you to your normal broadcast. Thank you.
Multi-kill.